From Nutrien Ag Solutions, I'm Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, April 15th, 2024. We do have our midweek storm system making its way in here, going to bring some rain and snow to parts of the Prairie, not seeing the higher end solution here, not seeing a direct hit on the Prairie proper. We'll talk about what that means as far as precipitation totals, but basically we're talking about heaviest north of Highway 16 until you get into parts of Manitoba, where we could see anywhere from 20 to 30 millimeters of precipitation over the next 10 days or so. And then temperatures taking a dip as we head through the middle part of the week. 14 for the high today in Calgary, down to 4 for the high tomorrow. We'll take a look at the infrared satellite picture here. Through the overnight, we continue to see upper level troughing, low pressure across the western United States. The strongest jet stream winds coming around the base of this trough here and kind of lifting into the central plains. We expect to see scattered severe storms across this area later on this afternoon and evening. Off to the north, though, we do have scattered areas of showers, anywhere from Grand Prairie to Edmonton, and then again across Regina down toward Brandon. Some very light precipitation as we wake up here Monday morning. Those temperatures on the mild side, anywhere from the lower single digits up to the lower teens as you get into parts of central Alberta. Last 7 days of precipitation continues to be focused on portions of southern Alberta into southwestern Saskatchewan, not necessarily a soaker over the last week, but as we look at the last 30 days, we really see the theme here. We've had several events, at least a couple of which that brought some robust precipitation to parts of western, southern Alberta down into southwestern Saskatchewan, but a big swath of northern Alberta into much of Saskatchewan and Manitoba been on the dry side over the last month plus. So some good news to get some precipitation in here. We'll look at the wide picture. This is your next 7 days of precipitation from the European ensemble. Again, you see heaviest north of the Prairie, parts of Manitoba here picking up 20 to 30 millimeters. And then as we look at week 2, we kind of go back into this pattern where it's kind of active, but we got low confidence on where those heaviest precipitation amounts are going to stack up. Snow cover going to be pretty scattered here, most of it north of Highway 16. Certainly the chance that some of the higher elevation areas in parts of southern Alberta and southwestern Saskatchewan could pick up a light coating here as we head through the middle part of the week. Now here's what we've got over the next 7 days. We just don't get the phasing of these two waves. If I kind of bring it back here, you see these two independent waves, one over British Columbia, one over the southwestern United States. A week ago, we saw some of these forecasts showing these two waves phasing over the northern plains as they lift into the Prairie. That would have been what gave us the direct hit, widespread, high-impact storm system across much of the Canadian Prairie. Now, as it is, we still get heavy precip north of Highway 16, and a good chunk of Manitoba is going to get a heavy dose of precipitation over the next 7 days. But we kind of just get this low that spins overhead as we head through the late part of the week. That's the reason for the cooler temperatures. Before ridging takes back over, we kind of go back into, again, that pattern where we'll have storm systems making their way in, just no obvious big high-impact storm as we get into that week 2 time period. So your precipitation forecast then over the next 10 days, we'll get it started here early this week. That very isolated, light scattered shower activity heading through the day today into the day tomorrow before we start to see these two areas of low pressure develop. Again, without the phasing, we don't get the one big high impact storm. We get an area of low pressure over the plains. We get another area of low pressure here over the Prairie. This is Tuesday evening. This is now Tuesday night. Wednesday, that colder air wrapping in. Now we start to change that precipitation over to snow. This will be Wednesday, now getting into Wednesday night. Thursday, the precipitation starts to fade away. Still some flurries likely as we head into the day on Friday, but the higher impact precipitation moving out as we go into the weekend. High pressure settling back in. That will dry us out as we head into the weekend. It will also allow those warmer temperatures to start to filter back into the area. But if a closer look here with the NAM model, bring it back here again Monday morning, very light, hit or miss precipitation, heaviest north of the Prairie. We get into Tuesday morning now. We start to see that area of low pressure developing across the region. This is Tuesday afternoon and evening. This is now Tuesday night. Wednesday, probably the most high impact period here, maybe some stronger winds wrapping around on the backside of this system here. This would be northerly winds now across the Prairie, bringing in those cooler temperatures. Some rain still going on across parts of Manitoba Wednesday morning before we start to change over to all snow as we get into Wednesday night and Thursday. And this is also when precipitation starts to wrap up and begin to fade away. So this is what we saw a week ago today when I gave you the video, the European on the left, the GFS on the right. You see the singular, very intense area of low pressure, kind of near the US-Canadian border. Now we fast forward 7 days. Remarkable that the models did pick up on this system. They pretty much nailed the timing here. This is the same time frame, Wednesday morning, but you see the difference here. Instead of the singular storm system, we get these two areas of low pressure, kind of spreads out the impacts here and reduces them just a bit. The other impact here, of course, with that second area of low pressure a little bit further north, the heaviest precipitation across the Prairie provinces is going to fall north of the Prairie proper. We're talking about anywhere from a couple to maybe 10, 12 millimeters of precipitation across most areas south of Highway 16 until you get into Manitoba. We're talking about anywhere from 15 to 25. Winnipeg, Brandon certainly could get into that 15 to 25 millimeter range here with total precipitation. But then you got to head north of Highway 16 where we're talking about more than that, 30 to 50 millimeters of precipitation. Same thing with the European on the left, the GFS on the right. Light hit or miss precipitation across Alberta, southern Saskatchewan. You get that heavier, more widespread precipitation Tuesday night into Thursday morning across Manitoba. Now, as we head into next week, again, I talked about those storm systems. They continue to move through the area, but low confidence on the timing and any high impact nature of that. The European on the left, the GFS on the right, we're looking a week, 9 days into the future. This would be April 24th. The European model has a nice little clipper system zipping through. This would not necessarily bring, high impact precipitation to the Prairie. The GFS with a little frontal boundary draped across the region with some scattered rain or snow showers. Again, some activity, but not necessarily something that's going to bring high impact moisture back to the area. Finishing up here with the precipitation topic over the next 10 days, your probability of picking up 1 inch or more of total precipitation. The European on the left, the GFS on the right. Much of the Prairie here, near zero chance. That really kind of drives the point home here. The pattern is relatively active, but precipitation in most areas is going to be pretty inconsequential, not adding up to a whole lot until you get into parts of Manitoba. That's where this is a little bit more high impact. Get into that maybe 30 to 40% chance of picking up an inch. I think much of the higher precipitation, again, going to be north of Highway 16, even across Manitoba. I think we're still talking about less than an inch in most areas there, even in Winnipeg and Brandon, where it's a little bit more stormy, a little higher impact precipitation. Those temperatures, you see a big change over the next 7 to 10 days. We go from mild to quite cold as we head through the middle part of the week, at least cold compared to average, not as cold as we would see in December or January here. We're starting to get a little bit further away from that winter solstice. These shots of cold air are a little bit less impactful, but still 14 for the high today, single digits for the highs for the rest of the work week with overnight lows below freezing. Edmonton, a similar look here. Calgary, I went back there. Edmonton, this would be Saskatoon. We'll keep going the right way. All the way from 17 today, a high of -1 on Thursday. Regina, very similar. And then Winnipeg as well, 15 for the high today, down to the single digits with rain and snow Wednesday, Thursday, and then tapering off Friday. Temperatures start to rebound as we head into next week. Have a great week. We'll talk to you again next Monday, April 22nd.